Hi, I'm Mindy. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing my mid-month wrap-up for June. All 7 books that I finished from June 1st through June 14th. And I read 4 arcs and 3 audiobooks. I have been participating in a Patreon readathon, which is a collab between Spicy Cats Reads, It Came From the Page, and Slime and Slashers. And so all these books fit for prompts for that readathon. But they were also just fun, summary books that I really enjoyed. So let me tell you about them. The first book I finished in the month was How to Make a Horror Movie and Survive by DiLouie, and I gave this book 5 stars. It follows a famous slasher director from the 1980s. Like, it's set in the 1980s, and he wants to make something truly scary. And so he finds this camera, a movie camera, in an estate sale. It belonged to another director who famously shot at a disaster on this camera. And he thinks that that is the perfect camera to make his dream movie that's actually scary. And he's probably right, because that camera is cursed. And many crazy shenanigans ensue. There are a lot of deaths in this book, and they are super weird, creative deaths. Kind of like, I kept thinking they were like Final Destination type things going on. A lot of fun. Second book I finished was the audiobook for The Woods Are Dark by Laymon, and I have been reading a few Laymon books for the Year of Laymon, hosted by Slime and Slashers, and this month the Laymon book was The Woods Are Dark. Quite a big step up from last month, which was Come Out Tonight, which I couldn't even finish. I DNF'd that one. That was real bad. This one was better. It had a really great start. It is set in this, it starts in this small town outside of these woods, and there's a family stopping at a diner to eat, and when they're about to leave the diner, they lock the doors and take the family hostage, and all the wild, Laymon-y things happen after that. There is a father character in this that quickly turns into a monster, like a horrible person. When he started out, I believe, as a normal person, and then that guy and all of his very dark deeds and thoughts almost ruined this book for me. I liked it. Was a very exciting book. Definitely not boring. Really fast-paced and just wild. And going into Richard Laymon book, I know it's not going to be PC. It's not going to be, there's going to be problematic elements. I have been warned. So I can handle a certain amount of it. Come Out Tonight, cross the line. This one was okay. I gave it 3 stars. Third book I finished was When the Night Falls by Rolfe. And this is the sequel to When Summer Comes Around. And I gave this one 4 stars. It has the same main characters, Rocky and November, who had a little bit of a romance in the first book. November is a vampire. Rocky is not. And this one is years later, 10 years later. So instead of the 80s, it's now the 90s. And it still has a fun 90s kind of vibe going on. And a documentary comes out about the events of the first book, the killings that happen in this small town, beach town, and a new group of vampires comes to town and starts causing problems. Pesky vampires. Number 4, When I Look at the Sky, All I See Are Stars by Steve Stred. This is a novella. And I would say that it is a splatterpunk cosmic horror novella. And a bit of a possession story as well. I gave it 3.5 stars. It has an amazing cover, amazing title, amazing premise, and it's the splatterpunk thing that I'm not used to. So it's about David, who's in a facility, mental health facility, and the conversations he has with his psychiatrist. And David says that he is 400 years old and possessed by a demon. And then the more they talk, the more the psychiatrist starts to think that maybe he's telling the truth. It is very dark. It has to do with a very dark, creepy cult doing weird stuff. And there is like a lot of sexual things mixed in with the gory, bloody things, and I am not about it. So it was a little rough for me, but it is good. I mean, if you can handle that kind of thing, it's probably gonna be good for you. Number 5, The Devil and the Deep, Horror Stories of the Sea, edited by Ellen Datlow, an anthology of ocean-based stories. One of them, I didn't really catch any ocean-y type things in it. I thought it started off a little rocky for me. Was thinking probably a 3-star. They were okay, but they were not my favorite the first few, and then they got better. These stories tended to be pretty long and pretty, I don't know how to explain it, slow, I guess. Kind of like a seafaring story. I don't know. What? Like I can imagine old captain spinning a yarn. Long and meandering and equal parts terrifying, right? Ended up giving it 3.5 stars. Number 6 books that I finished was Incidents Around the House by Josh Malerman, which I gave 5 stars. Another good one. It follows an 8-year-old named Bella, and it is told from her perspective. So the narration is very different than your normal story because it's kind of told through the eyes of a very sweet, naive 8-year-old, and it's about, and she has something creeping her out in her closet called Other Mommy that she thought was her friend, but now is starting to scare her. And this book, I really like the different take on the narration. I flew through this book. It's very easy to read and it catches your attention and you have to just propel yourself through. I thought Other Mommy was super creepy, and yeah, I really enjoyed this book. Number 7, last book I finished in the first half of June, was Treasure of the Abyss by Tiffany Roberts, and this is the first monster romance that I've ever read. I gave it 3.5 stars. It follows Macy, and this is a very different story than I was expecting. It takes place on another planet. Humans have been on this other planet for hundreds of years, and then Macy gets in an accident in the ocean and is saved by Jax, who is this kraken. So I suppose this is an alien romance because it is a creature born on another planet. And it's a kraken romance. But Jax saves her and can't let her go back to her people because they will find out about the kraken, and the whole lore of this world was really interesting to me. It started off, I thought it was a little cheesy. I think it might have been the audiobook and the narrator's voice for some of the female characters I could not stand. Well, it's like the friend. And then another one of the Krakens had a similar voice. But I was just like, oh, this is so fake. But might have been just a voice, I'm not sure. But I definitely got hooked into the story once it went on for a little while. And by the end of the story, I was really wanting to read book 2, but I don't think it's out yet. I couldn't find one anyway. Because I'm pretty sure I know the couple that will be in the second book, and I really want to read it. So those are the 7 books that I've read in the first half of June. And let me know if you've read any of these books or if you're excited to read them. And I will be back very soon with another book-related video. Thanks. Bye.